We're going to kick it off with Thursday Chargers at the Chiefs. Doc, who you got?
I got the Chargers. I know it's a popular pick in this room, but I think the Chargers are the better team than what the Chiefs are, and I think they do it this year, unless the stupid coach goes off and goes, "We're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 3," like he did last year multiple times. Tobin, who you got? I know you got the Chiefs.
That's his thing. That's what he likes to do. He's an analytics guy, and I think it's going to bite him in the butt. I think the Chiefs win this one at home, Arrowhead, on a Thursday night.
Going to be rocking.
Man, it's nuts. It's nuts. I think you're going to see MVS make the breakout game. I think this is the night that he comes out and really goes off. And I think Mike Williams, I know contrary to somebody in the room thinks he's going to go off. I think he's going to be doubled all night, even when he goes to the bathroom.
He's going to go off. I think he's going to be doubled when he gets out of the park, gets out the bus.
I think when he goes to the bathroom, there's going to be 2 guys going to make sure he washes his hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
So tell me, who do you got?
I got the Chiefs. I still like Big Mike Williams. I like Travis Kelce in this game. There's going to be a blow-up wide receiver. I'm not sure if it's going to be MVS or Joshua Palmer. It's probably going to be one of them. Might be Juju, but there's going to be a pop-up wide receiver here.
I think the Chargers are going to win, and I think Justin Herbert has an incredibly good game. Throws for 4 touchdowns to probably 4 different players. None of them named Mike Williams. And I think that the dud of the game is going to be all the wide receivers for Kansas City.
Okay.
Okay, next game on the list is Sunday night. The Bears at the Packers. Why did they put the Bears on Sunday night?
Because it's the 3rd largest media market.
Okay, I can buy that. Who you got, Tobin?
I'm going to take the Packers in this one. It's Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. Even if he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, I think they find a way to win this one.
I agree. Totally a Packers win. I like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to go off. For the Bears, the only player, in my opinion, you can start is Cole Kmet.
Okay. Tobin, who's the player going to go off for this game?
Yeah. Selfishly, I'm hoping it's Aaron Jones. I think, he's due. He kind of had that lackluster game. And I think Raj is going to realize this week that he's got to use those backs more and more out of the backfield. So,
see, I have the Packers winning because, quite frankly, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. I think the breakout
Just
player,
ask him, he'll tell you,
guy who's going to put up 25 plus points. I think A-Rod is going to go off and have one hell of a game. I think the player that's going to be the most hurt going to be Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields shows that Mike Martz is right and he's not ready for the NFL at this point in time.
Yeah, there's a reason there's a 10-point spread in that game. Yeah. I think.
Monday night, game 1, Tennessee versus Buffalo. Who you got, Tom?
If this game were in Tennessee, I'd love King Henry and the Titans. It's not. It's in Buffalo. Josh Allen's going to go off. Either Stephon Diggs or Gabriel Davis is going to have 2 touchdowns. I don't know which one. One of them will.
Okay. Who's the bust up? Who's the bust player for you? Who's going to suck at the hardest?
Probably Tannehill.
Okay. Tobin?
Yeah, I got to go with the Bills here in this one. Again, at home, after the big win on the road, I think you're going to see Josh Allen just light this thing on fire. There's going to be footballs flying all over the Buffalo sky that night. And I think the running back by committee thing is going to work for the Bills. And I think King Henry will have a nice game. But I agree, Tannehill is apt to be exposed here because that pass rush, he is not nimble. I think Von Miller is going to be eating his lunch all night long.
I've got the Bills to win as well. Picked him to win in the offseason when we went through and picked the games. I think the player of the game is going to be Josh Allen as well. I think he's going to throw the ball all over the field. I think the other bust-out player of the game as far as positive points goes, I think King Henry makes a return. The coronation will be intact at that point in time. And I think the bust player of the game going to be one of the 2 Buffalo wide receivers. Don't know which one, but I think one's going to have a good game, one's not. Okay, next game on the list is the Bucks versus the Saints in the Tom Brady. The Vikings versus the Eagles. The Monday night game number 2.
It's a big experiment because they're going to put Titans Bills on ESPN and they're going to put Vikings Eagles on ABC, and they're going to see if they can captivate enough audiences.
Who you got winning, Tom?
I got the Eagles winning. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown are both going to put on shows. I just think Hurts is better than Cousins, especially because of his rushing.
Okay, who's your bust out player?
I think I'd probably, if you're talking about what player versus other players is going to be better, Dalvin Cook's going to be better this week. Kenneth Gainwell is the running back, though, that I think is the sleeper guy.
Okay, who's your busted player of the week? in that game?
Miles Sanders.
Okay. Tobin?
I'm going the other way. I'm taking the Vikings. I think I'm a big believer in Jefferson. I think he's going to get a lot of attention. I look for Adam Thielen to be a surprise pop up this game, and it's not really a surprise. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
He's not getting the love, but dude catches first down. He catches touchdowns. I think I look for him to have a great game.
Who's your busted player of the game?
I think this week I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert from the Eagles. I think there's going to be so much focus on trying to get the ball to AJ Brown that they spent so much money on, trying to get Devontae Smith the ball, who got bageled last week. And then I think Gainwell the backfield, I think it takes away from Goddard. I think he's the one that I would probably sit if I had him.
Yeah, I have the Eagles winning this game. I have my busted player of the game being Kirk Cousins because he never performs well when the spotlight is on him.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I think the bust out player of the game is going to be Miles Sanders.
But if you're the second Monday night game, are you really in the spotlight?
Yeah, you actually
You're
are.
on the ABC. You're on the network.
Yeah, but again, does anybody watch that?
They will in Buffalo and they will in Philadelphia and Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins chokes on this game. If he doesn't, the Vikings will win, but I think he's going to. His history shows he's going to.
I think in that new system, he's got a chance to excel. I think he's finally in a system that fits what he does the best.
I hope so, because I really want him to have a good game. I like the Vikings to win the AFC North if they win this game. Just because this is probably the second or third hardest game on their schedule, depending upon where the two Packers games fall in at. Eagles, in my opinion, are one of the top three teams in the NFC. So we'll move on. Who you got, Bucks or Saints?
I'm going with the Bucks. I think Brady and the mighty band of injured wide receivers are going to go into New Orleans and find a way to win it. But I think it's not really going to be Tom and the receivers that do it. I think it's going to be that defense. I think it's going to be that pass rush and the front four that they've got. Their linebackers are scary good. Their front seven, I'd put up against anybody in the NFL. Yep. And I think Jameis, with his turnover affliction that he has, is going to be the bust in this game.
Okay. Tom?
I got the Saints.
I knew that was going to happen because the Saints have owned Tom Brady the last 2 years.
Yeah, they've destroyed the Masked Singer in the regular season. The Bucks can't do anything against them in the regular season for whatever. I mean, playoff Lenny should be okay here. I think he still does something. Mike Evans to me is going to get smoked. He's never
busted or busted.
He's the busted. Mike Evans cannot play well in New Orleans. I don't know what it is. It's just weird.
And
it's
who's
like
your
he freaks
bust
out. My bust out's going to be Michael Thomas. He's so much bigger than all of the Bucks defensive backs. I just think that they're going to throw the balls up to him in the end zone, and he's going to come down with them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tobin. I think the Bucks win, but I don't think they win because of the defense. I think they win because of Leonard Fournette. I think Fournette has the ball control, hand the ball to him, touches it 20 to 25 times, has 110 yards, probably a touchdown, but we'll see. But if he touches the ball that often, the Bucks win. The busted player of the game going to be Jameis. Jameis is going to turn the ball over. Jameis has that history. He's going to do it. It's just a matter of what game he becomes Jameis Winston of old.
Yeah, good.
Which, by the way, 3 years ago, he was the must-see player in the NFL. He'd throw for 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, next game, Cardinals versus the Raiders. Tobin?
I'm going with the Raiders. I think that you're going to see Devontae go bonkers. I mean, we saw kind of what happened with that Cardinals defense, got exposed with the Chiefs and all the wideouts they had. I think Renfro also steps up, but Waller to me is the one to watch. I think he's the one that's going to be kind of under the radar right now, and I think he's going to have a big game. And I think the busted is, honestly, I think it's the Cardinals medical staff and their trainers. I mean, they've got more. They're mash unit down there right now. They are not healthy. You got a bunch of guys nicked up. You got a bunch of guys out. I mean, is JJ Watt going to be on the field this time or not? I mean,
yeah, he'll be on the field in street clothes.
Right. Exactly. So I think just due to all the injuries, I think the Cardinals, if they have their full complement, are the better team, but they don't. So I think it's the Raiders going to win this one.
Okay, Tom?
I'll take the Raiders. Everybody knows how I feel about Devontae Adams. I think Darren Waller is going to crush in this game too, just like Kelsey did last week. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. They're not going to be able to stop him. My bust will be Josh Jacobs. I just don't. It's a New England backfield. You're never going to know which running back is going to do anything there. I mean, Brandon Bolden caught a touchdown last week. So,
And I have the Raiders winning as well, but I have my busted player being Darren Waller. My bust out player I think is going to have a great game is going to be Derek Carr. Okay, moving on. Next game, Dolphins versus the Ravens. I'm going to go first. Ravens win. Don't think there's any doubt the Ravens are going to win at home. I think the bust out player is going to be Lamar Jackson. The busted player is going to be Tua. Because Tua going to get dropped on his head a few times.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. I think the Ravens win this one at home. I think Tua to Tyreek is going to be a challenge in this one because there's going to be pressure in Tua's face. And I mean, that Ravens D is still the Ravens D. I mean, they haven't lost at all. They're not what they were 10 years ago, maybe, as the Ravens D that was really feared, like
Ed Reed in the back,
crazy feared. But they've still got enough weapons there to, I think, handle the Dolphins here. I look for Mark Andrews to make an appearance. You know, he really didn't do much last week, but I think you'll see Lamar. I think Tommy hit it in the main show with Lamar's running. You know, you thought he'd run all over the Jets, but he didn't really need to. And I think he's getting smart enough now. And he's in a contract year, let's be honest. I don't think he's going to put it at risk unless he really needs to at the game because, I mean, he's playing this thing out and that franchise number is good, but there ain't a lot of job security in a 1-year franchise deal.
Yep. Tom?
I'll go with the Ravens here. This to me screams 16-10.
Take the under.
It's a field goal game. Yeah, they're going to luck into a touchdown or so apiece. Man, I just don't.
Who's going to be your bust out player?
Bust out. I'll probably go with Mark Andrews. He's probably due. He'll probably have like 150 and a touchdown, the one touchdown.
And you're busted?
I'm going to go with Tyreek. I just don't. I think that Baltimore will scheme to shut him down just like they did last year when he was with the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah. Patriots, Steelers, Tom.
Steelers. Again, this might be 13-6. I don't have faith that the Patriots can score 20 points in a game this year ever.
Okay, so your busted player.
Mac Jones.
Your bust out.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Najee Harris. I think this might be, or Najee Harris. This might be his, I'm going to go out here and show out for 3 quarters, put up 150 yards and a touchdown, and then be gone for 6 weeks.
Okay, Tobin?
I'm going to go with the Steelers. Vegas doesn't think much about this when you hit it on the head there, Tom. They've got this at 40.5 for the over-under. So
that's too high.
The other one, the game we just talked about, they have it 44.5, which I think they're nuts.
I think they're nuts.
But I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one. They're a home dog. They're getting 2 points at home coming off of a big overtime win.
Because Watt's gone.
And yeah, but the Patriots showed absolutely nothing last week. So to tell me that they're going to go into Pittsburgh and win on the road and be favored to do that. I mean, yes, you've got Belichick. Can anybody, if there's anybody in the league that can do it and turn it around in 1 week, it might be him.
Your busted player.
My busted player is Mac Jones. I just don't think he's
your bust out.
My bust out player, I'm going to go George Pickens. I think his athleticism could really shine against that Patriots secondary.
I'm taking the Patriots. And unlike you guys, my bust out player is going to be Mac Jones. I think he comes out and has an incredibly good game. My busted player, I go with Najee. I think he's going to be shut down. I think the Patriots are going to key him all night long and make them get beat. I think that the Patriots are going to win 17-14.
Still an under.
Yep. Commodes versus the Lions. Tom, you taking your Commodes, you going with the Lions, who are favored for the first time in almost 2 years.
Yes, in 24 games. First time in 24 games. I love Swift to go off again. I think Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and TJ Hawkinson potentially could too. But man, I'm going to take the Commodes. Carson Wentz, still
Homer.
Greater sign
Homer.
than Jeff Goff,
Homer.
in my opinion. I think on the whole, our talent's better.
Okay. Who's your busted?
Busted, I'll probably go with I'll go with Jahan Dotson coming off that 2 touchdown game. I don't think he'll be the one that gets loose.
Your bust out.
My bust out's Terry McLaurin.
You're scoring?
He's due for a big game.
Hey, Tobin, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Lions favored. I'm hoping they know. Actually, they have to show up, even though they're favored. I think Goff's can have a big game. I think he's got so many weapons around him that he's not just a game manager. I think he's got the talent to do it. He's finally got an offensive line that he's not running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll do well. I think my bust on this one. I mean, I think Gibson. I don't think he's going to get the volume of the touches. I think he's going to be really keyed on in that. Now, did Detroit show me they could stop anybody on the running back side last week? Philly, no, but I think that's what they're working on this week. So I think Antonio's going to be the target.
I'm taking the Lions as well. My bust out is going to be golf as well. My busted, McScoren.
Just because Tommy picked him.
No, I like McScoren, but I don't think McScoren. If you had to pick one weapon to take away from the commodes, it would be McScoren. You take him away, that's what's going to happen. And I tend to look at coaches that I think have the ability to scheme for that, and I think this guy does. I think Campbell's a very underrated hire, very underrated coach at this point in time, who's going to get his due later in the year. Okay, next one, Colts versus the Jags. Who's not taking the Colts? Okay.
The Dogs are even taking the Colts.
Yeah, all three of us are taking the Colts. Tom, who's your busted?
I'm going to say my busted's Travis Etienne. I just don't think he's going to get the production here. I think they're going to try to ride James Robinson again, and the star of this game is going to be Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Tobin?
Yeah, Taylor's a superstar, but I think Pittman's going to be the big guy in this one. I think they're going to play action off that, and Pittman's going to benefit from how good JT is. I think on the busted side, I'm going to go with Spicoli at quarterback for the Jags. I just am not convinced that he's that level yet as to be picked as highly as he was. So I think he's going to struggle, and that's what I've got.
I've got my busted player. It's going to be JT. There's something about JT that don't get me wrong, he's talented, he's great, but I don't think the Colts have enough other weapons around him where teams can't scheme him to take him, at least limit his effectiveness. And they did it last year very effectively in the last game of the season. I think they're going to do it again. Even though I have the Colts winning, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good game and be the bust-out player of the game.
17 for 94 is handling somebody.
Did they win the game?
No, they didn't win the game, but it's not because of Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's kind of like what happened in Seattle last week.
Yeah. I just think that, 17 for 94 for JT, which is you're expecting 120 and 2.
Last week. I mean, this week, I would say that he's probably 115, a touchdown, maybe 2 receptions. That'd be my guess on if I was putting out numbers.
I think they're going to scheme to take him away, and I think we have a coach who can scheme to take him away this year, whereas the coach last year couldn't because he was too busy fondling undergrads.
Wow.
Well, I don't think that chick was an undergrad.
I don't know if she was or not, but she was in we'll see. Falcons, Rams. Tobin, did the Rams get back on track? Or
I think the Rams get healthy. I don't think they cover the 10.5. I think my bust out player on this is going to be the Rams defense. I think they're going to recover and bounce back from the beating they took from the Bills. And it's mainly just due to the amount of talent on the other side of the ball that the Falcons just don't have the weapons that the Bills threw at them.
And your busted player?
My busted player in this one, I'm going to go with Mariota.
Okay. Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Rams here. I do think that they can cover the 10.5. I think this is going to be a get right game for the Rams. I mean, the only Falcons you could possibly start, I think, are Cordero and Kyle Pitts. On the Rams side, Cooper Kupp's going to roll. I think this is a get right for Allen Robinson. I think they're going to scheme him open and show everything.
And who's your busted?
My busted is probably going to be Darrell Henderson. I just don't think he's that great.
I got the Rams winning. My bust out player is Darrell Henderson because he's the only weapon other than Cooper Kupp last week that looked explosive. I think they're going to feed him the ball and see what happens. My busted player. How about the running backs for the Falcons?
Well, that's Cordero Patterson, basically. I don't think he'll bust. He won't. I don't think he'll score like he did last week.
I think he'll probably be held somewhere between 50 and 60 yards.
It'll be interesting to see what Algier does. I think he'll be suited up this week, and it'll be interesting to see what he does.
Okay, next on the list, the Seahawks versus the 49ers. Tobin?
I'm going with the Niners at home. Hopefully it's not in a monsoon, although it's in San Francisco, so you never know.
Might be 12 degrees, you know.
Yeah, definitely could be.
It's in San Jose. It's going to be warmer there.
Ish. It'll be warmer adjacent. I'm going to go breakout player. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. He really didn't do a whole lot in Chicago, but nobody did. I mean, let's be honest. They needed floaties and goggles in that game in Chicago.
That was my choice for bust out player of the week.
Yeah, I think he's going to go bananas this week. And I think you're right. I think he may see some time in the backfield. I think he's built for that more than Debo is.
I think he is too.
My busted player of the week, I'm going to go with Geno. I think he's going to struggle. I think he's a game manager. He's an athletic as heck game manager, but he's going to have to do more if they want to win on the road.
Hey, Tom?
I'm going to co-sign everything that Tobin said. That's exactly where I would go. There's only 2 Seahawks you could possibly start. That's Penny and DK, and I'm not even that big on DK. I love Ayuk. I think this year is the year he's just ready to take off, and I think they'll do a lot better not in the monsoon.
Well, we're 3 for 3. I agree with everything Tobin said. I think Ayuk's going to be the bust-out player. I think that the busted player is going to be Geno.
We should probably just stop the show right now.
We should, because, hell's freezing over, and there's someplace, somewhere, something bad's happened to somebody.
Yeah.
Bengals versus Cowboys.
And you just hit on where the bad things are happening in Dallas.
Bad things, man.
I really wanted to see this game before Dak got hurt. I thought this is going to be a great game, a great shootout. Now, Jamar Chase is going to go bananas. He's going to burn Trayvon Diggs at least once, maybe twice. CeeDee Lamb, to me, is going to be another bust, especially with Cooper Rush at quarterback.
Did I just see you say 3 times a lady over there, Doc?
At least 3 times, and Trevor Diggs is a lady. Tobin, who are you taking?
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Oh, you're taking the Cowboys?
They are going to get beat so bad, it's not even funny. I've got this one circled, starred, and underlined that the Bengals are going to win this. I can't believe Vegas only has this at 7.5. I think this is
the Bengals.
This the Bengals by 7.5. That might be the one to jump on, folks. I think they're at least a 10-point, if not 2 touchdowns, better than the Cowboys right now.
I think it's going to be the Bengals going away. The bust out's going to be Jamar Chase, as he's just going to run all over Trayvon Diggs. The busted player. Can I pick one from the defense and just say Trayvon Diggs?
Or I was just going to say the whole Dallas defense is really what I was going to say.
I hate to do that to Micah Parsons.
Yeah, well.
And I think the busted player of the game going to be the quarterback for the Cowboys, as he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on out there.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is serviceable. He'll be all right, but it's going to be game management mode. I mean, that's all he can do. I think I agree that Jamar Chase is likely to go bonkers, and but I think you'll see Burrow as my breakout player of the game. He kind of struggled last week. I think he'll get his feet under him and light it up. And like I said, 7.5 is not enough.
Panthers Giants. I'm taking the Panthers. My bust-out player is going to be CMC, and my busted player going to be quarterback for the Giants.
Oh, Dan Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes. Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants at home. I think Saquon showed me a little bit last week. I think he's going to show us a lot more this week. He's going to be my breakout player. And I think DJ Moore is still the busted player for me on the Carolina side. I think a lot of people might think he's due to bounce back, but I think I don't think he's all that people hype him up to be. That's all I got to say.
Tom?
I think I'm going to have to go Panthers here. I do hate the Giants, that most people know, but I love me some Saquon this year. He's going to be by far the bust out player again. He's just going to smash all year long, I think. And then the busted player, I'll take Robbie Anderson. I don't think he's going to put together 2 good games in a row.
He's got the best hair in the league. He's going to bust it out. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, you got something against guys with hair, Tom.
That's not it.
Who's taking the Texans?
It got awful quiet in here.
So I take it 3 for the Broncos?
Yeah, I'll take the Broncos. I put down here my game notes. Javonte Williams, owners rejoice. He's going to smash the Texans in this. If JT got 160, I guarantee Javonte gets 120.
Okay, who's going to be the busted player of the game?
Rex Burkhead. There's no way this guy is worth a crap. I mean, he's totally an also ran. He has 2 good games in a season. This is not one of them.
You don't think he's going to do it 2 in a row, huh?
Tobin?
I'm going with the Broncos. They're at home. As much as a Chiefs guy, it hates for me to ever say the Broncos are going to win a game. I think the bust out player is going to be Russ. I think he's going to get his feet under him. You know, he had a rough night in Seattle, but I think he's going to light it up a little bit. He's got all the weapons around him. Everything's in place for it to happen. He's just got to get his coach and his offensive coordinator on the same page to where he's not getting the play call in with 8 seconds on the clock.
And your busted player.
My busted player, you know, I think I'm going to go with Burkhead as well. I agree. He's he's a retread. He's a stopgap for teams. And if Pierce isn't the option, I don't think they have a running game right now.
Yep. Okay, I'm going with the Broncos. My bust-out player is going to be Melvin Gordon. I think he's going to be the one who gets the touchdowns. I think he's going to get more touches than Javonte is as they try to control the ball. My busted player, Davis Mills. I think he's going to have a very difficult time with it because I think the Broncos defense is going to be harassing him all night long.
I just want to go on the record saying that the Broncos defense is overrated.
They missed the pass rush that they had from a guy that's in Buffalo right now.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Okay, in the last game, the Jets versus the Browns. I'm taking the Browns.
Do we really have to play this game?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm taking the Browns. I think the bust-out player is going to be Nick Chubb. I think the busted player is going to be Mike Carter as he gets injured and misses at least half the game.
That's pretty precise right there.
Yeah.
That's really dialing it down to a granular level.
It really is.
He's just due. He's due to be injured. Prove me otherwise. If he plays the full game, I'll say wonderful, great for him. We'll see what happens in game 3. Tom, who you taking?
I got the Browns. This is, I mean, my bust out player is Myles Garrett. I don't see, he may literally spike Joe Flacco into the ground in Cleveland. I mean, they're going to be a monster. They're going to destroy him. I mean, if you want me to pick a fantasy player, then
Yes.
it's going to be Nick Chubb.
Okay.
I mean, he should roll in this game. Baltimore did not get the running game going. Of course, they were going with Kenyon Drake last week, so you can't really count that. As far as a bust player, Joe Flacco. I mean, he can't do anything against the Browns. Their defense is better than the Ravens, especially at home. They're going to want to show out.
Okay, and Tobin?
I got to go with the Browns. I feel sorry for anybody who's in the Cleveland or New York market and have to actually watch this game. Vegas doesn't think much about it either. 39.5 is the over-under. And so that tells you pretty much you're going to have plenty of time to go get snacks because there's not going to be a lot of offense. My bust-out player, I'm going to go with
Amari Cooper.
You know, well, actually, no, it's who's their quarterback? QB1's Brissett now, right?
Yep.
Jacoby, not Deshaun. I mean,
it's not available until they play Houston.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time to get massages right now. But I'm going to go with Jacoby Brissett. I think their running game's way too much for the Jets, and I think that's where he's going to benefit. I think the play action is going to be huge, and Cooper may actually benefit from that. But I think, you know, if you're looking for somebody that might have a flash in the pan in your fantasy side, I think this might be the week for Brissett. I think the bust player, Flacco, God, that's a easy dead target. Man walking. But I think it's going to be Breece Hall. I don't think he's quite ready yet. I think they're going to try and work him in a little bit more, and I don't know that he's quite ready yet. I think he's going to be there. I mean, in a dynasty league, that's a great number 1 pick. In a this year league, you're going to probably struggle to get much out of him.
Okay, and with that, we done.
We wrapped it up. Thanks for tuning in for the bonus segment. We'll see everybody next week.